if you're not familiar, our body has energy centers, and we have both masculine and feminine energy, and this energy is called Ki. It's spelled Qi. So this energy flows through our body, and there's these two channels of energy. One is feminine, and it's governed by the moon. It's a cooling energy. And the other one is masculine. It's governed by the sun, and it's a warmer energy. And these energies travel up the spine, and everywhere where they kind of spiral and intersect is a chakra. So a chakra, an energy center. We have 7. They run from the base of our spine all the way up to the crown of our head. Today, we're focusing on the heart chakra. So your heart chakra is in the center of your chest. So we know that that's not the physical location of our heart, but it's the energetic location of our heart. So we can think about it as just the center of our chest. Each chakra is assigned an element and a color. So the element of the heart chakra is green. And this always surprises me, even when I say it after all these years of talking about it and teaching it, because when you think of green, often, especially in terms of your heart, you think of that green with envy. But green is also the color of growth. It's the color of transformation. You think about springtime. When something is green, it's transforming. It's becoming something more. So the color is green. The element is air. And air, like love, is all around us. And we cannot survive without air. We cannot survive without love. So, heart chakra, also known as anahata. Anahata means unbroken, unbeaten, unhurt. So when we think about unlocking the heart chakra, we think about releasing fear. We think about releasing old hurt, old pain, anything that's happened in the past, whether it was something that was very personal to you or to someone you love. We release whatever we are still carrying that surrounds itself with that old hurt and old pain. Any jealousy, anything that tightens your heart, we let that go. So this class will focus on that, on bringing some movement into the heart space. It focuses on some meditation to release. We'll do 2 meditations actually in this practice, one in the beginning and one at the end. But it also has 3 mudras. So as you may recall, a mudra is the hand formations that you use during, often during meditation, but sometimes during a yoga pose. And these mudras will all help to unblock your heart chakra. So let's begin. We're going to find a comfortable place to sit. And I'll take my sweater off. So I live very near Buffalo, New York. And if you've been listening to the news, it's been snowing for days and days and days. And it's still snowing and it's very cold. So I'm a little chilly. The first mudra, Vayu. You would bring your index finger to your base of your thumb. So like that. And then the 2 middle fingers, you touch your thumb. And then the pinky stays straight. So it looks like this. If you can see that. Or this. It's probably easier to see this. So index finger to the base of your thumb. Then you let your thumb touch these middle 2 fingers. Keep the pinky straight. And this is what it looks like. Vayu. So here we go. Finding a comfortable place to sit. Let me get back into my mudra. Curling my index finger, the thumb to the middle 2 fingers, pinky is straight. You can bring them onto your lap. you can bring them out to the side. So whatever feels good for you. And while we're just, at this beginning, I think it's really hard to take the time in your day to make room for a yoga practice. So whatever it took to get you here, you might have been rushing around or whatever, and to then immediately fall into a meditation. So first, we're just going to look around your space. Just let your gaze fall on anything at all. It could be the outlet in your wall, or maybe you can see a tree outside your window, or a chair, a piece of furniture, crown molding, anything at all. It doesn't have to be significant. But once your eyes settle on that thing, and this thing could be, more organic, like a plant or your dog. Just notice its shape. Notice the color, the size, without making any sort of judgment about it at all. So to unlock the heart chakra, we're not judging. We're not making any sort of judgment. We're just noticing the qualities of it. And then you can just thank it for its service, whatever service it provides to you, whether it's beauty or utility. Maybe it's something that is that provides a service that is unique to you, whatever it may be. And then you can move on to something else. Let your gaze travel to something else. It might be the frame of a painting, a rug, that little thing that opens windows, the little crank, the window crank. And it doesn't matter what it is. Once you feel like you've settled upon it, notice it. The color, maybe the components of it, maybe it's got a lot of moving parts, lots of different pieces to it. What size is it? What shape is it? Does it float? Is it solid? Whatever qualities that are just inherent to that thing, it's just the way it is, without judgment, without saying, ugh, I should paint that. Or, oh, that's right, that's broken. No judgment. Open heart. When you're ready to move on, thank that thing for its service to you, or its service to the greater good. And one last time, let your gaze fall somewhere else, anywhere in your room. Notice what your eyes have landed on. Maybe it's decorative or not. Go through your questions. What color, what size, what shape? Don't judge its purpose. That's not what we're here for. It's not what we're here for today or any day. thank it for its service. And then bring your head back to center if it's not already, and you can let go of the mudra. Maybe wiggle your fingers if you want to, or shake them out if you'd like to. And from here, you can place your hands on your thighs or in your lap, wherever it feels good. And we'll just notice our breath. So this is when, if you'd like to close your eyes, go ahead. You can cast your gaze down, or you can just find some point in the middle distance, somewhere beyond the screen, where you can center your gaze. I'm just going to cast my gaze to the floor and notice my breath. The mantra that is associated with the heart chakra or with Anahata chakra is Yam. It's spelled Y-A-M and it's pronounced Yam. So maybe you can begin to say that, either out loud or to yourself. If you say it out loud, you'll feel this kind of a reverberation when your lips make the M sound. It might tingle. So Yam, Yam, Yam. Either to yourself or out loud. While you're saying the mantra Yam, think about your heart space, the center of your chest. Imagine this spinning wheel of green petals. Yam. Yam. That wheel spinning, maybe spreading into your shoulders. Transformation, growth. And if you'd like to take some time right now to set an intention for your practice, then you can do that. Of course, your intention can be whatever you'd like. When we are working with the heart chakra, sometimes we set an intention to release old grudges, old hurt. Maybe we invite joy or compassion. Maybe we vow to trust our heart. And then letting that go, drop your chin to your chest if it's not there already. Blink your eyes open. So here we are, gazing down towards our lap or to the floor. Get used to the light in the room. And then on your next inhale, center your head. So we're ready to move into the physical part of the practice or the poses. Now, when we think about opening up the heart chakra, we think about elongating through the spine so that we can lift our hearts up. This is like the beginning of what you might do if you were going to work your way into a back bend. So we're not going to do any back bends, but we will get some extension into the spine. So we think about lifting up through the sternum first and then out. I'm going to turn sideways so you can hopefully see a little bit better. So think about your sternum. We lift up first, like someone's pulling your head with a string, the sternum lifts straight up. And then we press our chest slightly forward. So it's nothing like we're forming the letter C, backwards C. We're just getting some extension in the spine. And when we bring space to the front body, invariably, we bring compression to the back body. So we'll spend a little time rounding that out as well. So our second mudra is Anjali mudra. This is a really famous, popular mudra in every yoga class, and it's hands together in a prayer position at heart center. So we've got our thumbs pointing towards our chest. The beginning of our physical practice begins with our thumbs making contact with our chest. So bring your thumbs to your chest. Let them kind of tap your chest. Gently. It doesn't have to be too hard, but you want to feel it. We're going to do this for a while, because what we're trying to do is unlock the heart, get that sense of reverberation in the energetic space in the center of our chest. So just continue. And you could do this at any time. Maybe you've had a difficult conversation with someone and you get home and you're just not feeling good about it. You could just spend some time doing this, trying to find some sense of compassion, some forgiveness, or even a sense of open-mindedness, seeing someone else's point of view that might be very different from your own. You don't have to agree with it, but maybe you can see it. Ideally, you would do this for about 2 minutes. So I haven't really been watching the time, but we're just going to go a little bit longer. Those thumbs tapping against the center of our chest. Making the physical contact as much as we can with the heart chakra. Impossible to go inside your body or into that energetic space, but we try. A few more times. And then we'll let that go. Anytime I work with extending my spine, sometimes my neck gets a little bit tight. So we're going to begin with a stretch that will help with any sort of neck tension. This comes from the world of physical therapy. So this isn't a stretch you typically see in yoga, but it's a really functional movement, and it helps if you've spent a lot of time with your head down, reading at a computer and sewing, anything like that. So sit up straight into your chair, and we're going to bring our right hand to the left side of our head and gently tip the ear towards the shoulder. So you might feel this stretch right here along this left side. And we'll stay here for a little bit. So notice your breath. Try to send it low in your belly. Try to slow it down. And then stay here, but slide your hand behind your head and turn to look down towards the edge of your seat. And maybe tip the chin down slightly more. So now we're getting a stretch that moves into the back of the neck, maybe even into the shoulder. Remember to breathe. Stay here, or if you want to deepen the stretch, take your left hand and bring it behind you, behind the chair, behind your back, and squeeze the shoulders back just a tiny bit. And we're gonna hold here for about 10 breaths, so it takes a while. So we're about halfway there now. And if your eyes feel like closing, this is a great time to close your eyes. Couple more breaths. If your eyes are closed, blink them open, and let's come back the way we came. If your hand is behind you, bring it back to your leg. Keep the hand on the back of your head, but lift your chin, come back to center, and then we'll do the other side. But first, pay attention to how either side of your neck feels. One side probably feels much different. So we'll even that up. Left hand, right side of your head, and gently bring your ear down to your shoulder. So we're not pushing your head down in any sort of aggressive way. It's just a nice gentle nudge. And while we're here, notice our breath. Did it suddenly end up in your chest? If so, send it down into the belly. You can even place a hand on your belly. That's always good to feel it. Slide this hand behind your head and then let your chin drop down so that you're looking at the edge of your chair. Stay here or tip your head just a little bit more so your chin gets slightly closer to your chest. Can you feel that stretch? Does it feel different than it did on the other side? Maybe. So we're going to hold this for 10 breaths. And, we talk about the heart chakra today, but we mentioned this last time. The neck is the portal between the head and the heart. So when we work to bring space into the neck, we can find a little bit more freedom in both the head and the heart. And that energy flows a little more freely. A few more breaths before we move on. If your eyes are closed, blink them open. Oh, if you put your hand behind you, forgot about that one. Bring it back. Go ahead and lift your head. Look back towards center, and then you can release that hand. So just take some time here to feel your neck, maybe gently just kind of go from side to side, an ear comes down and the other side. Or you can turn that into a neck circle, imagining there's a little pencil on the top of your head and you're drawing a very small circle on the ceiling. It's not a huge movement. If that makes you dizzy, you can always bring the ear down, the chin down, the other ear, look up, as slow as you need to. If you've been doing this for a while, go the other way. And again, that might look like an ear to the shoulder, stop, chin down, stop, other ear, stop, look up, stop. In whatever pace feels good to you. And then come back to center. So the chakras are about the spine, that energy that travels up the spine. So let's bring a little bit of movement to the spine. We'll start with just a really tiny spinal sway. So it's like a blade of grass, and it's not a huge thing. It's like barely noticeable. You have to really be looking to tell that someone's doing it. But we're gonna make this a little bit more noticeable. So if you'd like to, you could grab a hold of your chair and then sway in a more definitive way. Or if you feel really stable in your chair, you can keep your hands on your thighs. But imagine that you're just like this reed kind of blowing in the wind. And as you bring space to one side, there's compression to the other. Notice how that happens in the body. When we find space on one side, we automatically squeeze the opposite. And those two things work together. Come back to center. Grab a hold of your chair with your right hand and bring the left arm out in front and then up. Your arm can be straight or it can be out to the side. Hand can be on the shoulder or hip. So wherever it feels good for you, but take a breath here, lift straight up through the sternum and then tip to the right. So you can hold on to the chair if you want to, or you can just let the arm dangle. Squeeze the right side waist and feel that length on the left side of your body. We'll hold for 3 breaths. Breathe in, breathe out 1. Breathe in, breathe out 2, breathe in, breathe out 3. On your next inhale, come all the way up, and we'll go right to the other side. So grab onto the side of the chair, or just let it dangle, but the right arm comes forward. And then bring it up, or out to the side, or your hand to your shoulder or hip, whatever feels right to you. I like to hold onto the chair when I first move into that tip, and then maybe I can let go, or not. I might keep a hold of it. But we're tipping over to the left now, keeping our sitting bones both on the chair, nice and stable, a nice firm base, but squeezing that left side waist. And from here, we'll have 3 breaths, nice and deep in the belly. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in. Breathe out 3. Come all the way back up. And just take a moment here to feel any differences, not only in your neck, but now in your spine, how that work has traveled down. Take a breath. We're going to let it go out of our mouth like we're blowing through a straw. At the very end of that breath, take some time to turn to the side of your chair. So your knees will come over to the right side. And if you have a block and you want to use it, pick it up and place it on its middle level, about where the edge of the block is about the center of the chair. And you'll probably have to move it, but it's a good starting point. And if you're sitting closer to the back of your chair like I am, then scoot to the center. You can either do that by moving one hip and then the other, or just by lifting your seat up and moving. Take some time to get comfortable here. center of your chair. We'll move in and out of cat-cow. Again, let's bring some freedom into the spine before we ask it to do a lot of extending. So from here, tuck your tail and then let the spine round, pressing it towards the side or the, wherever you are, back of your room. Let the chin drop down. And then with the chin still down, come up off the sitting bones. Press the hip bones, the belly, the ribs, the chest forward as you begin to lift the chest. Lift the chin and squeeze the shoulder blades back. Move back into cat. Come back onto the sitting bones, but then tuck the tail. Round the spine, drop the chin. Come back into cow. So we untuck the tail and the front body presses forward. Looking slightly up. We don't want to tip our head. Let's come back to center, and this time, grab a hold of the edges of your chair or the front of your chair, whatever feels good to you. I'm going to do the front of my chair, and we're going to use this as tension. So go ahead and tuck your tail. Drop your head. But in order to get a little bit more meaningful extension, we're going to press our hands into the chair as we untuck our tail. Press the front body forward, press your hands against the chair. See if you can feel a little more extension in the spine. Take a breath. And as you exhale, round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale, untuck, front body presses forward, press your hands against the chair, lift up slightly to look slightly up. And then one more. And come back to center. We're going to stay here in this position, but we're going to move this left leg to the middle of the chair. So it'll look like a low lunge. You may have to move around a little bit, but so I'm going to bring my shin to the top of this block. That feels pretty good. And we're getting some extension in the hip. So this low lunge. So you could easily do this without a block. And I'll do it on the other side without a block. Anyway, here we are, low lunge, nice extension in the hip. We're thinking about the heart. So take a breath. Both arms come forward. And as you exhale, pull your arms back. So it looks like this. Arms are forward and then just pull them back. So what are we doing here? We're exposing the heart. Press the chest forward as you do. Inhale, round just the upper back, and exhale, pull it forward. Breathe in. Let that breath go. Breathe in. Let the breath go with a nice big sigh. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Breathe in. Sigh. From here, drop the arms back. So the elbows just kind of hinge back and grab a hold of your hands. Clasp your hands. Keep the elbows bent. We don't want to pull on them, but lift the heart space slightly. So we're lifting straight up through the sternum. Squeezing the shoulder blades back. Take a breath here. And as you exhale, begin to lean forward slightly. We're not going to go down all the way, just kind of leaning forward. If this makes you feel unstable, go ahead and grab a hold of the chair. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in. Breathe out 3. Your next inhale, come all the way up. From here, go ahead and kick the heel up and lower, and up and lower. If your heel won't kick, that's fine. Imagine that it is. Imagine that your heel is kicking up so high it's touching your sitting bone. What that does is it sets up the neural pathway in your brain. It builds neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity, where your brain believes what you tell it. You tell your brain that your heel is kicking up, it starts to build a neural pathway so that eventually that action can happen. It takes a while. It won't happen overnight. But if you practice that daily, you'll see results. You'll see some sort of momentum in your movement practice. From here, step that back leg back. Chair's been sliding around a little bit, so this is our classic warrior pose. We're going to move into reverse warrior. Let's bring our right hand to our knee, left arm is down. Take a breath in and sweep the arm all the way up and over and then back down. Do this a few times, creating kind of a semicircle. Of course, you can keep your hand on your shoulder. That feels good. Or if it feels better. And the next time, inhale, the arm comes all the way up. Keep looking forward and then lift up through the sternum and the chest. Press the feet down. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in. Breathe out 3. Breathe in. Breathe out 4. Last breath. Breathe out 5. Bring that hand down. And from here, we're going to lean forward again, but think about the center of your chest, centering it over that leg. So there's a slight twist. Your heart chakra responds to a slight twist. Press the feet down. Make sure you're squeezing the shoulders back so we're not rounding into it. And breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Your next inhale, come all the way up. And we'll move to the other side of the chair. So I'm going to get my block out of the way so I'll show you what it looks like. So here we are. Again, I'm a little bit too far back, so I'm going to scoot forward to the center of my chair. And from here, before we did some cat-cows, this time we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So especially if you're starting to feel a little more tension in your neck from all of that work, bring your shoulders up towards your ears, squeeze them back, roll them down, round your shoulders forward, bring them up, squeeze them back and lower. And do about 5 in this direction before you stop and go the other way. So I have 1 more. And I'm going to go the other way now. And if you didn't count or you lost count, that's okay. And that's what I'm famous for, losing count. I have 1 more to finish up. And from here, we'll move back into our low lunge. So you step the right leg back, position yourself on the chair so that the knee is underneath the hip, and you can feel that extension in the hip. Let me move this out of the way so you can see my foot. So my toes are tucked, but they could be untucked. They could be on a pillow or a block. Press your feet down and reach your arms forward. So here's our low lunge, but we're going to move with it. So before we exhaled as we brought our arms back, this time we're going to inhale. Notice the difference. Take a breath here and let it go. So take a breath in, exhale with a sigh. Breathe in, pull the arms back, lift up through the chest, exhale with a sigh. Kind of rounding the back. Breathe in, let it go. Breathe in, release. 2 more, breathe in, exhale. Last one, breathe in, lift up through the sternum, through the chest, exhale. Inhale, come all the way back, but then hinge from the elbows, and you can clasp your hands here. Squeeze the shoulders, but if they're up by your ears, lower them down, and then just lean forward slightly. Remember, you can hold on to the chair. Press the feet down. And breathe. On your next inhale, come all the way up. Hold on to the sides of the chair and bring some space to the quad. Engage the hamstring, kick the heel up. This is a really functional movement because it's something that we do every time we walk or run or go up the stairs or down the stairs or get into a car. And remember, even if the toes won't lift off of the floor, imagine that that heel is going as high as you've ever seen it go before. Your brain believes what you tell it. Neural pathways are being built every time you imagine that function. And then the last one, and step that leg back. And we move into more of the classic warrior legs. So this time we're going to put our left hand on our left knee. We'll just do that kind of circular motion with our arm. So take your breath in, come all the way up, and you kind of open up with it, follow your arm, and then come back down. So we're opening up through the heart space and down. We'll do this a few times. I really love doing this. It feels good to me. The next time you let that arm come down, stay there. This time we're going to stay facing to the side, so we're not going to open up. Inhale, the right arm comes all the way up and lift up through the sternum and the chest. Take a breath. Make sure you're breathing. Hand can always be on the shoulder, but we're getting this space in the front body. And then exhale. Let that go. Hands can come onto the chair, lean forward, and once you have, spin the center of your chest so it lines up with the center of your leg. You'll feel a tiny twist. Breathe in. Breathe out 1. Breathe in. Breathe out 2. Breathe in. Breathe out 3. Breathe in. Breathe out 4. Last breath. Breathe out 5. Your next inhale, come all the way up and make your way back to the center of the chair. Bring your feet back in front. We're going to take some time here to work on some sun salutations. So sun salutations, Surya Namaskar. Surya means to bow down to, Namaskar means sun, so to bow down to the sun. We're at about the middle of our chair. But if you need to sit back farther or you want to sit forward a little bit more, then that's okay. So find your place. Again, without judging where you're sitting. This is the no judgment class. Every class is a no judgment class. But let's just lift our toes, excuse me, and bring some space in between your toes. And again, if you don't see any space in between your toes, imagine that you do. And then place your feet back down. We're going to do a few half sun salutations. So take a breath in, arms come all the way up, and exhale, hands to heart. It's also called a sun breath. Breathe in, arms all the way out and up. Exhale, Anjali Mudra, hands to heart. Tap your thumbs to your chest one time, release. Arms all the way out and up. Exhale, hands to heart, tap the thumbs, breathe in. Exhale, tap, release, breathe in. Exhale, tap, release. The next time we're going to fold forward, breathe in. Exhale, tap, and release. Shins and forearms can meet, or you can release further. Hands can come anywhere along the knees, the shins, the ankles, or let them come to the floor. On your next inhale, hands to your shins, lift and lengthen your spine. Lift up through your heart. Exhale, fold. 2 ways to do that. Inhale, arms come out and up, or inhale, hands walk up. Hands come to heart, tap the chest. Let's do it again. Breathe in. Let that breath go. Tap the chest and fold. Continue folding on that exhale. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Arms come out and up, or walk your hands up, but take your breath here. Inhale. And exhale, hands to heart. Breathe in, arms all the way out and up. Exhale, hands to heart, tap the chest with your thumbs, fold forward. Release the neck, let the head get heavy. Lift and lengthen, hands to your shins, and exhale, hold. Inhale, arms all the way out and up, and exhale, hands to heart. Tap the chest with your thumbs a few times. Center of your chest, thumbs tap. And then release your hands. We're going to move into our ending meditation before we have a Shavasana. So if you need to cover up, go ahead, because we've been moving. And when we stop moving, sometimes we get chilly. So I'm going to grab my sweater. And you can too, if you have, or a blanket you can wrap around your shoulders. You can find a comfortable place to sit. So, and sit the way you want to. I love crossing my ankles. It comes naturally to me. So, and sit against the back of your chair because we want to make sure we're comfortable. When we sit straight up without any support, sometimes that will trigger the fight or flight response because we're on call, we're engaged. We don't want to do that when we meditate. So sit against the back of your chair. Make sure that your breath is able to flow though. So if you find yourself really slumping, maybe put a pillow or something here that you can hold on to make yourself more upright. We're going to move into our last mudra. So there are 5 mudras associated with the heart chakra, but we're only doing 3. So this is the third one, it's lotus. And so bring your hands together like for Anjali Mudra, but then keep the thumb and the pinky together and separate the rest of your fingers. So it looks like this, kind of like a lotus. Because sometimes it's hard to keep your hands up like this. Just let your elbows drop close to your body. And if at any time you want to drop the mudra because it doesn't feel good, fine, go ahead. Anyway, here we are. Loving kindness meditation. Take some time here to let your eyes close or cast your gaze down. And we've done some work to unblock the heart chakra. Remember, Anahata, heart chakra, unbroken, unbeaten, unhurt. We've released past grievances, past pain, judgment. We've let those things go. We're dropping down to find our inner voice. There's a lot of chatter sometimes when we meditate. You can hear, thoughts passing through your head, or you're distracted by noises in your physical world. I have snow plows going by now, so that's kind of distracting. But take this time here to drop down, to move beyond the fray of the chatter or the static, down into where you find your own authentic voice. And where you find your authentic voice is where you find your calling. It's where you find your love. It's where you find you. And when you can find that authenticity, you can send love into the world, but more importantly, you can direct love back to yourself. And that may be the biggest job of our lives, is to not just love one another, but to love yourself. So with your hands in lotus and your eyes maybe closed or maybe cast down, say to yourself, I wish only the best for me. May all good things come to me. May joy and compassion fill my heart. I am loved. You can repeat that or just settle into that feeling. You are loved. May joy and compassion find me. Now think about the people in your life. The people that are closest to you. It might be family members or colleagues, neighbors. And wish them well. May they be happy. May they be joyful and loved beyond measure. Envision these people, see their faces. Imagine them being bestowed with loving energy and joy. Their fear and their pain is released. May these people know love, know that they are loved. May these people closest to me understand that they are love. Spread that love from yourself to others. Let's move to the people who have been challenging in your life. The ones who feel difficult. And send them love. Send them empathy and compassion. May they feel loved. May they feel forgiven. This is hard. And it's okay if it seems impossible to you. Those people who may have hurt us, send them compassion. May they know love. May they be loved. If not already, you can release your hands down to your lap. And from here, we'll move into our Shavasana. So you can stay here, you can move to the floor, to a sofa, you can recline someplace, it doesn't matter. But we're going to take some time. Just let it go. Let your thoughts go. Sink into whatever space you're in. Relax all the muscles in your face. And of course, you can stay here for as long as you want. And if you are ready to complete your practice, you can drop your chin to your chest and blink your eyes open. And when you're ready, center your head. Get used to the light in your room or whatever space you're in. And that concludes our heart chakra practice.